Yeah, well, basically this project's about people coming into the woods, doing a bit of conservation work with the National Trust, and then going home with some wood that they can use on their wood burner. This Woodfield project from the beginning has seen much enthusiasm, with over 25 people signing up after a small piece in the Randwick Runner newsletter and my Ruscombe Green blog. However, for various reasons, the project took over a year to get established. This is a short video about why and what we got up to on those first couple of mornings. 12 of us set off for a pasture near the top of Ash Lane. First we met Tim Jenkins, the countryside manager, whose responsibilities include the 600 acres of Randwick National Trust estate.
I should introduce as well my dog, Rosie. She's my volunteer, who comes everywhere with me. Pick sticks up. You'll find as you're moving the brash that she loves that. And she'll revolve around you. When you get fed up with her, just shoo her away.
The estate is a mix of woodland and grassland. The belted galloways are the National Trust's grazing machines in the paddocks at the top of Ash Lane. And that's where Tim has also been doing some hedge laying. It's the first time these belties, as sometimes they're known, are there in this paddock for a couple of years. They're a rare breed, a rare beef breed, originally from Galloway in Scotland. One of the aims of the Woodfield project is to help restore the grasslands that have been declining over the years. Botanically, they're very rich, not just for invertebrates, butterflies, moths, beetles and that sort of thing, but also in terms of flora. There are many anthills on the site. Some took decades to get to the size they are. What is amazing to me is the connection with the blue butterflies. The common blues, for example, feed on the nectar with the flowering plants, while the caterpillars feed on the bird's foot trefoil. When the larvae are young, they are adopted by ants, mistaken for a mislaid ant's larvae, and they're taken back to the nests.
Right. It's a really nice habitat for the grasslands. Are quite special in this, as opposed to the field out there, which is pretty uniform really. And what we're finding is that the grassland's being slowly swamped by trees.
The plan is to remove the trees that have grown up in the grassland so that the biodiversity can be restored. The red cornice, or dogwood, has started covering large areas of the paddock, already growing thigh high. A lot of that has been trimmed by Tim, and some silver birch, sycamore and ash have already been felled the previous week. This was to stop the trees shading and also stop the seed source which are destroying the pastures.
And we're literally taking all the turkey oak out, which is a non-native species, not particularly good form of oak, but it's a heavy cedar, so there's lots of seeds. You see all the small sort of the brown-leaved shrubs, that's all turkey oak that's been sort of invading in, and we can smack that down with flails, and but the bigger trees need felling really, and they're the seed source, so we need to get rid of those. And silver birch is a coloniser, as it's called, and that's quite a heavy cedar as well. But our job today is...
should you wish to do it.
Should you wish to, you're golfing. You can see we basically felled the trees. I've stump treated as well, because obviously you don't want to recoppice, and they'll all coppice quite... Silver birch, responds very well to being sort of cut right down to the ground. Even these big ones will coppice readily, and sycamore's the same, and turkey oak to some extent. So I've stump treated, and the idea is we burn all the what we call brash, the branch work up, and then we can carry out all the cord length stuff. And if we don't remove it all today, we're coming back in April, we'll be back doing the same thing again.
Tim gave us a health and safety talk at the beginning, warnings about the ground being slippery and uneven, especially where the dogwood had been cut, plus advice on managing the fire and tools.
Lay them all the same way, so don't crisscross everything, because the fires don't like that. It sounds bizarre, but I've done it for many years and it works. So if you all lay it the same way, the butt end and then the branch end, just keep putting on top. The fire works its way through. Start off small, build it up, build it up. With bow saws, it's a simple thing of don't cut over your hand. And you've got arteries down between your legs as well. I've seen people cutting there. Of course, if you tweak these arteries, you're a goner. So I've got first aid kit. It's full mobile reception here. But we're suffering here from people stealing wood, and they steal quite a lot. In fact, just beyond, there was a beech tree came down, and this sort of size. It was a dead one. It fell into one of the trees right over the path. So I chainsawed it and stropped it and dragged it down onto the deck, cut it into lengths, and it's disappeared. Someone's actually been in with a chainsaw and has ripped the lot. It's slightly irritating because it's technically National Trust land. It's our wood. I mean, ideally, in the woods, you try to leave as much as possible as dead wood, because it's a very, very important habitat. But where people got access, it will go. But I'd rather, if people want to have the firewood, do help us out, and this is perfectly valid opportunity, good project to do, really.
Okay, we're here because we want to be part of a wood fuel project as part of our environmental idea of getting things local. We're going to use the wood to fuel our log burner, which we've had installed for the last couple of years, and we're trying to be getting off the grid as much as possible because we're concerned about peak oil and climate change.
I'm here as part of, getting some firewood is one side of it, but we're also helping with the National Trust's general regeneration of this limestone pastureland, which will be very species rich thanks to the work.
We live near the woods anyway, so we've got a vested interest in maintaining them and helping out with them. And it seemed just a generally good thing to do.
And the cost of firewood.
I'm interested in sort of sustainable living transition, and therefore it seemed like a good way to get involved.
And a nice way to meet people.
Yes.
If you're trying to get into a community that you've just recently arrived in, taking part in local stuff like this is a nice way to sort of meet new people and get on with things.
I've done a fair bit of National Trust work before, and I enjoy doing National Trust work and the opportunity of doing more of that, and at the same time going, oh, well, we could do with some wood. Oh, look, there's a double benefit occurring. I must go along to that, definitely. So.
There are many benefits to the scheme, including providing an opportunity for local householders to get their own firewood at low cost, reducing fuel miles and creating a sustainable energy supply. The carbon dioxide released by burning the wood is captured in new growth, so net carbon emissions are very low. From the wood itself there is zero, of course, but some obviously net emissions result from the vehicles and chainsaw use, but at much lower level than conventional domestic heating systems or industrial wood fuel supplies. It's also about helping the National Trust maintain and improve the landscape on a sustainable basis, like removing the invasive species in this grassland, learning more about our local woods and new skills in woodland management. For many of us, we've become very disconnected from the natural world around us, and this is a great way to reconnect with our local woods. Personal fitness is another possible benefit. One guy reported with all the chopping and cutting he reckoned he'd be fitter than he'd been in years. And also community building. Many people don't get the chance to connect with other people in their local community. While we are perhaps more fortunate than many areas here in Randwick, there's still much we can do to build our community and of course have fun. One guy said he hadn't had so much fun since he was 16.
No. My wife doesn't know I'm here.
Oh.
Why am I here? Well, that's a good question.